While the joy of welcoming a new life is often what the world celebrates, many mothers find themselves battling dark emotions they never expected. On our feature tonight, we bring you a heart-wrenching and powerful story that sheds light on a condition that affects millions of women worldwide, but often goes unnoticed. In her in-depth story, Caroline Muthoni takes us into an emotional interview, which reveals the toll postpartum depression takes on both mothers and families.
Becoming a parent is often described as one life's most joyful moments. Yet, for many new mothers and fathers, the postpartum period can bring unexpected feelings of sadness, anxiety, and even despair. While some emotional ups and downs, commonly known as baby blues, are typically as hormones adjust after childbirth, postpartum depression is much more severe and long-lasting. It can affect a parent's ability to bond with their baby, navigate daily responsibilities, and find joy in this new stage of life. For more clear understanding of what it entails, we had an opportunity to speak with Doreen, a highly experienced physiotherapist.
I'll start to look at it this way. These are three words: postpartum depression. And I know for every mother it's a joy to give birth to a child. And that is the things we are talking is after childbirth. And we know that when a mother gets a newborn, there is excitement, there is that joy. But at times we get to notice what we call child blues, whereby there are intense emotions and feelings, like of course some crying spells, some anxiety, some restlessness, inability to sleep. But when we look at the postpartum depression, we are looking at a complex situation whereby now there's a mix of issues around the physical, emotional, psychological, around, they become so intense. When we talk of anxiety, it is intense. And so basically postpartum depression is a kind of intense feelings that are in the mixture of the arena of how one feels, how they behave, and how they react.
Yeah. So what causes postpartum depression?
During the pregnancy, there is a rise of hormones that we talk of estrogen, progesterone. And when a mother gives birth, they goes down. And that can be the cause of someone now feeling a bit irritable, agitated. And also we are looking at the issues around support system. Is there support? This mother who has given a child, this new mom who didn't know about how to deal with a child before, is there any social support system? And also we are looking at the things like genetics. Did this mother have form of depression before, or is there any history within the family? This can be a risk factor to this kind of a mother. And I want to say this, Carol, at this point. Postpartum depression can come can be first child, can be even a third child, can be, there is no order of when can this happen. Maybe the mother may not get postpartum depression at the firstborn, but maybe at the second or thirdborn can get this postpartum depression.
So you've talked of before and after.
Yes.
Can you measure maybe the time that it will start bringing out signs of it? Maybe before you give birth or after you've given birth? Okay,
let's talk of after, because we are talking of postpartum depression. After birth, we can start, the onset can be within 2-3 days or even 2 weeks, and can prolong, can get to indefinite if nothing is done. So you see, for example, if a mom has given birth and they are so excited about it, but when they get home, they find they cannot be able to do some of the things they used to enjoy. They even start feeling like they're not good enough to this child. They start feeling they don't want to associate with people. There is crying spells. You know, this person feels so anxious. They are at edge every now and then. This can begin few days after or some weeks, and if nothing done, it can still spread for quite a long period.
Oh, okay. So what are some of the common signs that you can tell someone is having postpartum depression?
Thank you. And that one, I'll look at it in these 3 ways. I'll look at it in physical space, emotional and psychological, and also social. When we talk of physical, is that a mom who used to take care of herself, she cannot be able to even take a bath, take a shower. She cannot be able to groom herself anymore. Another sign in the physical space is whereby she's not able to eat, or she's eating too much. And this one now will come along with issues around weight gain or weight loss. The other thing is mother feels like, I don't want to hold the baby. You know, you don't want that form of bonding with this same baby that you're so excited to have given birth to. And also the other thing is, you know, the woman just feels like, you know, even the issues around sleeping. They're either not sleeping at all, what we call as insomnia, or sleeping too much. And at that point, maybe I would say this when we talk of the postpartum 5-5-5 rule, whereby the mother needs to be in bed 5 times, the mother needs to be on bed 5 times, and to be around the bed 5 times. That is a way of promoting bonding with the child, at the same time finding some rest. So if this mother is not able to rest enough, then that is a physical sign. She's just restless. She cannot be able to settle. Then that tells there is an onset of something. And when we look at the issues emotional, there is the anger outburst, anxiety, irritability. This mother keeps on crying. And also the other thing is also, if the baby at that point, if the baby is the baby that is you know, not able to rest, crying and all that, also that can also contribute in form of emotional and psychological of a mom, how they may present. Because if a baby is not breastfeeding, they're just crying, they have issues around, you know, people talk of colics and all that. That can also make a mom to become a bit agitated if there is no support that they need. The other thing is in the social space. If they're not able to interact, all of a sudden they cut links with the people they used to interact with. They don't want friends, they don't want visitors, they don't want no one, no calls, no check-ins. They don't need anyone around them.
So let's get to the point of, are fathers or non-parents affected by postpartum depression?
Absolutely, yes, they do. And I'll say this way, and there is always a joke that is so common. How is the mom and the child doing? And everyone is, they are doing fine, but the father is recovering. Because I must say, like for these new fathers, you know, you've not had a child before. Things changes, your sleeping times changes. It's just as the way with the mom. All of us, and that is why for the men we'll talk of paternal postpartum depression. And I know there are these 2 weeks that they're usually given, the paternal leave, to go and stay with the, you know, child and mom. And most of them you've heard, they're not there. You hear someone was given leave, but they are elsewhere doing other things. And we've mistaken it as form of negligence, or they don't want to be there. But I can tell you, this could be some of the things. This could be one of it. Paternal postpartum depression. That they don't know how to handle this situation. And maybe no one supported them. No one told them this is what you're going to experience. So it is a first hard thing. Remember, they have walked, and that is why we tell couples, both of you are expecting, you're pregnant, both of you. It's not about the mother alone, but also the father. And remember, they've walked the journey. They've sometimes experienced terrible mood swings during the pregnancy. I want to eat this, go get me this, I don't want this, lots of vomiting, and sometimes they wonder, is everything okay? Are we okay? If there is a situation whereby there was a pregnancy complications of their, partners, sometimes they are like, how do I go about all those? So remember, they've carried that load for a long period of time until this, even during delivery. To those who are courageous enough, like my husband has been there in the delivery room. Some of the things there are some who can't stand even those screams, within the labor rooms. And you see, they have experienced, they have gone through a process of an emotional turnover in all this. So if they are not supported, they might also as well get to that.
So Doreen,
yes.
What are some of the things you can do to prevent postpartum depression, or maybe when you're pregnant, before you get to the labor room or before you give birth? What are some steps that you should take?
Good. I would start with one, awareness. How aware is a mother about herself? How aware is she about herself? In this way, in my family, do we have, people who have this kind of issues? The background check from where we come from, because we are family of origin. Is there anyone who has this kind of a condition? Another thing could be, because most often is that if one is in a family of origin whereby, let's say for example, the mother of this young mom who intend to get a child and postpartum depression, most likely the young mother will end up getting that. And so it's very, very important for you to know, because if one knows that there is a kind of a history in our family, then they will be able to seek early interventions in case they feel they are not at their best. And this they can only be able to know if they are now able to have a conversation with the healthcare provider. They can first seek that support. The other thing is, I would say, issues around counseling. They are very, very important. And as a psychotherapist, I usually tell people, don't wait until things are at the worst. That's when you're seeking for therapy. The time you're doing perfectly well, that is the time to seek for therapy, so that you can be able to explore together with your provider, with your therapist, and get to know where you are at. What are some of these intense feelings? Why do they come? What kind of a support system that you have around you? Are there some things that could be making you, not to be productive in one way or the other? All those things, explore them, because so remember, trauma, childhood traumas, and especially issues around sexual gender-based violence are also a contributing factor to postpartum depression. So if that is not dealt with even before someone carries that baby, then we may not be able to have what we call preventive measure. And so if one now gets to know all that and understand all that, then during the pregnancy, because I also said during the pregnancy someone can get postpartum, can get depression, can get depression, that is not post, can get depression. And so if one during pregnancy, because of many things that come along, changes, you're carrying someone else, moods changes and all that, you are able to monitor and get to know when things are not as they should. And with that, you can be able to reach out for help early enough. And also now, after a child birth, do you have that support system? People should not shy away from reaching out and saying, hey, give that call to your gynecologist and say, this is where I am at. And with that, remember, if the journey was monitored, even during that period, they will give you a shorter date for you to come back for the postpartum review. They will give a shorter date. And in case of anything, I was told if I get to hear this, if this persists, because I'll say all these symptoms, remember I said the child blues, sometimes they can be for a short period of time, but if they persist for more than 2 weeks, that tells you there needs to be an intervention before.
So following that,
Yeah.
maybe there's someone who already has postpartum depression, she's seeing all these signs. Is it treatable, and maybe what actions can be taken to cure it?
Good, a very good question. And I'll say yes, there is help. There is help available, and for those who are already in it, it is not too late.
Yeah.
Because we have various interventions for those people who have already gotten it in terms of treatment. We have treatment for, can be put on antidepressants or also hormone therapy. Remember, I told you about sometimes hormones can go down and can bring about all this. Even the thyroid hormones, that are produced by the thyroid sometimes can be low, and someone can be feeling very restless and so weak and with no energies. And also the issue around therapy. Someone can be taken through therapy, and also engaging also in form of support groups, because sometimes we think we are the only ones who have issues, but once we realize there are other people who have been able to go through it and come out of it, then they're able to come out of it. So I must say that postpartum depression is treatable. To those who may wish maybe to have support, we also do therapy for such people. You can be able to get me through my number 0720-990-595. Also, you can be able to follow us on our socials, that is Raba Care Center, RABA Care Center, and you can as well be able to drop your text, drop your message, and we can always be able to reach out to you.
Postpartum depression may feel isolating, but it's important to remember that no parent should face it alone. With understanding, support, and the right treatment, recovery is possible. Let's continue to break the silence and empower parents to take care of their mental health just as much as their physical health. Muthoni Caroline, EBN TV.
Thank you very much, Carol, for that particular in-depth interview that you had with the expert. And of course, just, it is incredible how much we expect that after, birth, things have to go on as normal, but there are those who experience those range of emotions which eventually pile up to postpartum depression. It's just a testament that anytime you see a mother, just give her the support that she needs, encourage her, support her, see her often more than not, visit her, gift her even. It may help cheer her mood up. And so good job to all mothers as well out here. So up